Thank you, Rashid. When I first looked at the questions that were posed to us in this panel, they were so broad and in many ways very difficult to answer in such a short panel like this. I was actually hoping that Dearborn would capture many of the issues that I would raise, because as the Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation Agency, many of the issues that we deal with that are important to us are indeed the ones that Dearborn actually raised and highlighted as the critical issues. So rather than repeating those, and I'm glad he raised all the ones that I would have, I wanted to really think about and focus on one issue that we find as the most pertinent, or one of the most pertinent issues related to knowledge gaps. And that's the issue of knowledge, and how do we collect that knowledge and information most efficiently? How do we database and make it accessible to as many individuals as possible in a usable format? And then how do we actually disseminate it to those that need that information in the most effective manner? And as we've been working at ETA over the past 3 years, what we realized is that traditional ways of accessing and collecting and disseminating that knowledge actually don't allow us to get to the scale that we'd like to as quickly as possible. So there are indeed new and innovative ways to use technology to collect, database, and disseminate this knowledge. And just to highlight a couple of examples, for one, it is looking at soil fertility and water resources in Ethiopia. Over the past couple of years, we've embarked on a project called Ethiosis, where we're using satellite and remote sensing technology, as well as ground truthing, to understand exactly what kind of nutrients are in our soil all across the country. And by the end of this year, in a 3-year time frame, we will have new maps, new soil fertility maps for the entire country developed. We're doing the same kind of thing when it comes to water resources and groundwater mapping that's being done. Now, these kinds of approaches of using remote sensing and satellite technology were not available a number of years ago, but it's something that almost every country can leverage now to make sure that you have access to information quite readily. But that information isn't very useful unless it's analyzed and packaged in a way that a farmer and a policymaker can make accurate decisions. So the dissemination of that information, as the previous speaker highlighted, in Ethiopia we have an extension system that's probably one of the largest on a per capita basis in the world, is critically important. So how do we use public extension systems and mobile technologies and other approaches to disseminate information to farmers in a way that they can access it and make reliable on-the-ground decisions more effectively? And similarly, how do we package that information to policymakers so they can think about resilience from the perspective of a farmer, but also use it from a longer-term perspective rather than solving solutions for today, thinking about solutions from the long term. So from our perspective, there are so many issues that need to be addressed, but at the core of them is the availability of good, high-quality data to inform decision-making. Thank you.
Khalid, thank you very much.